Hey guys, welcome back to another week of What's for Dinner. If you're new here, hello and welcome. I am Taylor. I'm a stay-at-home homeschooling mom of two, and I started these What's for Dinner videos 2.5 years ago as a way to motivate myself to cook more for my family. Now I do them to motivate y'all and inspire you to try new things in the kitchen. I share every dinner we eat for the week, whether it's cereal or something that just doesn't turn out good. That's real life. If you enjoy these kinds of videos, I'd love it if you subscribe down below and leave a comment letting me know that you're new here. As always, any recipes I have a link for will be listed in the description box. Now let's go ahead and get into this week's What's for Dinner. It is Friday and I'm keeping dinner pretty easy tonight. I pulled out some tilapia. So I've got my oven preheating to 425 and I'm going to bake this. I melted some of this Chef Chamois garlic butter with Parmesan cheese and basil in the microwave, 15 seconds. So I melted that, probably about a tablespoon or two, like 2 tablespoons of that. And I'm gonna brush that all over my tilapia, but first I'm gonna sprinkle on a little bit of this blackened seasoning. So I'm gonna do that and the butter and then just bake it for probably about 15 minutes at 425. And then to go with it, I'm making this Parmesan couscous from Aldi. This is so easy. It's one of my go-tos when I just want something simple, because it literally takes like 5 minutes. I just boiled water in my kettle, which took like a minute, and then poured the couscous and the seasoning and the water into a bowl, stirred it around, cover it with a lid for 5 minutes, and then you just fluff it with a fork. It's really that easy. It's so simple. So we'll have that with it, and then I'm going to cook up some zucchini as well, and that will be our super easy dinner. Okay, here's our super quick and easy dinner. Like in all, this probably took like a total of 20 minutes to make. So this is my plate, and these are the kids' plates. And then there's some for Andy, and then if the kids want more tilapia. And that is the couscous, and then, yeah, the zucchini. And I put some badia and some slap your mama on that, and then cooked it in a little bit of olive oil. So that is going to be dinner for Friday. It is Saturday. Tonight for dinner we're going to have some salads with some chicken and some hard-boiled eggs, and of course all the other kind of salad stuff. But I've got my chicken breast here. I'm about to cook it in my cast iron pan in some oil and butter. So I'm letting that get nice and hot, and then I'll add the oil and butter. And I'm going to season my chicken with some Slap Your Mama and some badia. And if you've been here, you know those are like my two go-to seasonings. They make everything taste good on their own, and then also just together. They're really good. So I'm going to season both sides of the chicken with that, and then cook them in my pan, get it all cut up and ready for salads. Okay, here are our plates. This one is Lily's, of course, and no lettuce. This one is Elijah's. He wanted like everything on the side of his salad, so he could kind of build it himself or eat it separately if that's what he wants to do. And then this one is mine. And I finally got a little egg cutter. This was at Aldi. I think it was $2.50. So I didn't have to slice the egg myself. This was really easy to use and I love it. I'm glad I have one now. Now I have perfect little egg slices. And I made that bacon vinaigrette again. That's what I have on my salad. It's really delicious. I absolutely loved it. Nobody else would try it. But that's from Naptime Kitchen. I'll have the recipe linked down below. Definitely check it out if you haven't yet. I shared it like 2 weeks ago and it is the best. But that is going to be dinner for Saturday. It is Sunday and tonight for dinner I am making Timin Pasta. I made this, it's probably been at least a year now. Usually when I make it with chicken. The original recipe that I had seen was meatless, but we like to add meat to it. So I've done chicken. This time I'm going to do sausage. So I thought out this pork sausage. I've got my cast iron skillet heating up. I'm going to brown that in there with some Italian seasoning, some onion powder, and some garlic powder. And I've got some water coming to a boil back here with some salt. I'm going to cook this whole thing of penne noodles, so 16 ounces. And then once all that's done, I will combine the noodles with the beef and some sauce. So I have homemade red sauce that I made last week. You could obviously just use store-bought, but I have this, so I'm going to use it. And then I bought a jar of creamy Alfredo from Aldi. So you're mixing together the two sauces. That's why it's called Timin Pasta. And then usually I would add some Parmesan cheese, but I accidentally bought Asiago. So I'm going to use some Asiago and I'm going to also use some mozzarella. I'm going to shred those with my KitchenAid. I love this thing and make shredding cheese so easy. So I'm going to get started on shredding my cheese and browning my meat. And then we'll mix everything together and bake it on 350 for 20 to 30 minutes. So I ended up broiling this for like 1 to 2 minutes at the very end just so it could get nice and browned. Now I'm going to plate it up and this is going to be dinner for tonight. Just keeping it easy, just having this. Look at that, it looks so good. But that is going to be dinner for Sunday. Okay, y'all, today's the day. I did not film me taking the chicken out of the package because I don't think everybody wants to see that. It's not a pleasant experience. But y'all did want to see me make this whole chicken, at least the majority of y'all did. So here it is. I took it out of the package. I dried it off as well as I could. I used my tongs to go up inside the chicken and pull the stuff out. I know sometimes it's in like a bag. This was not in a bag. It was just the stuff there inside the chicken. So I used my tongs, pulled it out, discarded that stuff. So we're left with a dry, mostly dry chicken. I had many comments telling me to do the chicken in the air fryer like Tiffany from Large Family Love. I'm not doing it exactly like her, but pretty much the same whole chicken air fryer. But I found a recipe for like a spice mixture, so I will leave that down below, and it says to cook it, I believe, on 360 for 50 minutes and then to flip it for the last 10. So that is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do breast side down for 50 minutes and then flip it over and do breast side up for 10. This is 2 tablespoons of olive oil, some garlic, some salt, some pepper, some paprika, some basil and oregano. As I said, I will leave it linked down below. It was hard getting this stuff filmed just because, like, I didn't want chicken juices everywhere. So I got that made, got my chicken dried and everything. So I'm going to rub this mixture all over my chicken, and then I'm going to pop that chicken in the air fryer, breast side down like I said, and get this going. Okay, I've got my chicken in the air fryer, and to go with it, we're gonna have some green beans and potatoes. So I've got 2 cans of green beans in there. I did not drain them, and then I cut up 5 or 6 very small potatoes. Like, they're really small. I've got 4 of them left, but they're like very small potatoes. I cut up 5 or 6. I can't remember exactly. So I've got those in there, and then I added in 2 tablespoons of butter, and then I'm gonna season it with lemon pepper seasoning because I think that's gonna be good. So I'm gonna do some of that. But I'm also going to add in some chicken bouillon, and I don't think I need any more liquid, but once I put that in there, I will stir it around and see if I need any more liquid, and then add like half a cup to a cup of water if I need it. Okay, here are our plates. These are the kids. I gave them some breast meat and some chicken leg meat, and then we've got our potatoes and green beans, which, I mean, they look kind of bland, but they definitely taste very lemony and like chicken brothy. And then here's my plate. I also have some leg meat, some breast meat, and then I have one of the wings, and the skin, the crispy skin, is just so good. And then I did the same for Andy. He's got some breast meat, the leg that I was actually able to pull off. The other one like fell apart when I tried to take it off. But this one actually stayed together. And then a wing and some green beans and potatoes. And this chicken is very good, but I need to learn how to properly cut a chicken. Don't really know what I'm doing. This was that leg that just kind of fell apart. But there's definitely a ton of meat on there that I will get off and probably make like some chicken salad sandwiches for lunch with that. It is Tuesday, and tonight for dinner I just made some hamburgers in my cast iron pan. And I also made some corn in the air fryer. This I made last week, so if you missed last week's video, go check it out so you can see how I did that. It cooks for 10 to 12 minutes in the air fryer, and it's super good if you're not going to be cooking on the grill. So we've got that. And then I also made some little crispy crowns. And so here's my burger. Got some cheese, lettuce, tomato, mayo, ketchup, and mustard. And then the kids are splitting one because they're fairly big burgers and big buns. I got these brioche sesame seed buns from Aldi. So that's what we have it on. Tots and corn. And then we will have some ketchup to dip our tots in. But that is going to be dinner for Tuesday. On Wednesday night, I made chicken parm sandwiches. This was a special request from Andy. He saw a picture of one on Facebook and asked me to recreate it. So I started off by whisking together 2 eggs, 1 tablespoon of minced garlic, some parsley, and some salt and pepper. Next, I got out my chicken. I had 2 breasts that I sliced in half horizontally, and then I sliced those in half again. I wanted smaller pieces since I was making these into sandwiches, but if you're not doing sandwiches, you could leave them bigger. I then took each piece and placed it in a Ziploc and flattened them more with my meat mallet, and each piece was then placed in the egg mixture. I let my chicken marinate in that egg while I preheated my oven, heated up my oil for frying, and mixed together the breadcrumbs. For the breadcrumbs, I mixed together 1 cup of panko, half a cup of Italian breadcrumbs. If you don't have Italian breadcrumbs, just do plain and add some Italian seasoning. I did some garlic powder, some onion powder, and half a cup of grated parm. I like to use like the stuff that comes in the green shaker bottle. I feel like it's best for a breading. To cook the chicken, I dipped each piece in the breadcrumbs and then placed it in my hot oil. I used just enough oil to come halfway up the chicken, and I cooked for about 5 minutes per side. And I did have to do this in batches because I had a lot of chicken and I didn't want to crowd the pan. Once the chicken was done, I placed them on a baking tray and then I topped them with some pasta sauce, some mozzarella cheese, and some Parmesan cheese, and I baked these at 425 degrees for 10 minutes. Okay, and here is our dinner. We just took the chicken parm and put it on a bun. These are brioche buns from Aldi, and since it's a pretty big sandwich and pretty filling, we just did some veggies on the side. So I have cucumbers, Elijah has cucumbers and orange sweet peppers, and Lily has grape tomatoes and sweet peppers. And I started them off with half of a sandwich because they're pretty big. But obviously there is a ton left over. I will probably have to make some noodles or something to go with the leftover chicken parm for Andy's lunch. And you can always do it over zoodles or whatever. But I already tasted the chicken and it is very, very good. The crispy breading is delicious. So definitely recommend this recipe. For Thursday night's dinner, we had taco spaghetti. If you have been around my channel for a long time, you know that this is a family favorite. This is my recipe for taco spaghetti. Most recipes don't call for enchilada sauce, but we really like it with enchilada sauce. It makes it extra saucy and delicious. And if you haven't checked out this recipe before, I highly recommend it. Everybody who's ever tried it has loved it, and they said it's been a hit with their family. It's cheesy and delicious, and it's super filling, so usually we just eat this by itself. I will have the recipe linked down below for you guys. There's a whole video on it here on my channel, but that is going to do it for this week's What's for Dinner. If you like these What's for Dinners, don't forget to subscribe down below if you haven't already, and make sure you check out the playlist down below. I have a playlist with a ton of What's for Dinners. I've been doing them for like 2.5 years now, and I don't think I've ever missed a week. So there are lots and lots of What's for Dinner videos on my channel. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Bye!